In this video, I'm going to explain the harvest into fourth density, and I'm going to show you how to make this shift. This is something that is happening right now on the planet, and it's very important that we do this one thing. Welcome back to another video. My name's Aaron, and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you more about what is called fourth density, why right now on the planet is the shift into that higher level of consciousness, and that one thing that you must do to make that shift in consciousness. Now, this basis of this video is going to come from a book that is called The Law of One, or also called The Raw Materials, and it has to do with some channeled material that came from the 70s and the 80s. It's considered some of the most profound channelings of all time. It is the information that David Wilcock talks a lot about. It's the one that many people reference. And many things that were said in that book back in the 70s and the 80s that said we would come to learn about the way the world works, about physics, about astrology, the way that the astronomy is, has come to be proven. And this was back before it was actually even shown or even proven. There have been many things that have happened that have led to, and also you're able to see a direct reflection of from those 5 books, those 5 different channelings. Well, there are many different channelings. There's different sessions that have been compiled to then see more about what was brought through. And a lot of the information, and just to also give this a basis as well, the one that was asking the questions, his wife was the one, Carla is her name, was the one that was channeling the information. The guy, he was a physicist. So he was somebody that was asking very high-level questions, wasn't asking many New Age questions that maybe some people would ask. He was asking questions very specific about physics, about science, and it was very profound information that came through. Now, one of the things that was said that right now on the planet, so many people are here on planet Earth right now because they wanted to go through this shift in consciousness that's happening. This graduation is what it's called, the harvest. From going from what is called third density level of consciousness into a fourth density level of consciousness. The third density level of consciousness is the level of self-awareness. It's the level of the ego identity. It's the level where we become aware of the duality, good, bad, light, dark, up, down. And fourth density is a density, still of form, but it's a density of understanding and of love. When we start to realize the law of one, that every single one of us are connected. And what's happened is he talks about in the book, the group is called Ra, and they were also the beings that came back in Egyptian times and gave the information when it comes to the pyramids and different types of information that was given, very profound esoteric information. They're also the beings that did that. What happened is they gave the information back in the Egyptian times, and some of that information wasn't used for good from the leaders or the people that were in power. And what happened is that caused a bit of karma to where now the raw beings, these group, it's actually a collective consciousness, has come to help us again through this channeled material to help us understand more, so that in a way it balances out that karma, that negative effect that happened. That's why it's such profound teachings. Now when it comes to the third density to fourth density, what they mention is that there are these beings called wanderers. Wanderers are a certain type of soul that has come to Earth to help Earth ascend to a higher level of vibration. And many people watching this video right now will either be what we call light workers, star seeds, wanderers. These are all just labels we use. It's not too important to get too identified with them. But even back in the 70s and the 80s, when Ra was being asked about it, Ra said that there were over 350,000 wanderers at that time. Now, my guess is it is exponentially greater. There's so many more of these wanderer souls, which are these teacher souls, here to help people to ascend to a higher level of vibration. Now, one thing that is constantly recognized and mentioned is something called the harvest. The harvest is where these wanderers and this information is coming through very strongly so that more and more people can make the shift into fourth density. So the harvest, in a way, is just like you would think of as a harvest, where there's different levels of, you would like sprinkle seeds and then watch those seeds then begin to grow. And in a way, those seeds are being planted right now within the collective consciousness. So many people are waking up to this type of information. And then what happens is from 2012 onward, that is the window, there is this transition of time happening. Another thing that was mentioned was that the area of the universe that we are moving through is more highly charged, and we're moving through that so that we can go through this transformation. Normally we think that the earth is just revolving around the sun like this, but in actuality, the universe and the solar system itself is moving through the universe as well. It's not like just the earth is surrounding and moving around the sun. It's that everything is moving, and we're moving into a more highly charged space right now. And in the law of one, what it is mentioned is that the greatest thing that we can do is that in order for us to make this harvest, in order for us to make this shift from a third density level of consciousness and to a fourth density level of consciousness, is the one thing we must do is we must be at least 51% service to others and 49% or less service to self. So this is a number that we may use, but understand that the number really isn't, there's not a percentage. It's not like you're going to, it's not as literal, I don't think, that it's like, you will ascend if you are 52%, you're 52%, good for you. I don't think it's like that dialed in of a number. It's just in general, are you of the awareness that other people are connected to you, and do you have this intention of adding value? Are you being of service to others? And if you are service to others, then you are in the boat of fourth density, of the law of one, of that unconditioned, you're more in your heart space. So what is happening is every single one of us on the planet, have the opportunity to be more service to others. Now, this doesn't mean that you don't fill up your own cup. Doesn't mean that you don't take care of yourself and make sure you're happy and you're just trying to become a people pleaser. But what it means is you are aware that we're all connected. Therefore, you'll have more of a capacity to forgive. Therefore, you'll have more of a capacity to add value and to be maybe of some type of service to other people somehow. Maybe it's the job you have. Maybe it's information that you share. Many different levels that this can be done at. And understand that even when it comes to adding value, it could be an emotion. It could be you're a comedian and you make people laugh. You doing what you are passionate about in that frequency is going to be what elevates your vibration, which then subconsciously elevates the vibration of everyone else around you. So it's a mix of being service to others and doing what you are passionate about, because when you're in your passion frequency, you are naturally adding value to other people. Even if people aren't passionate about what you're doing, if you're so passionate about making art and someone else isn't passionate about that, they may just look at you and go, wow, this person's doing what they love. Maybe I could do what I love, which isn't necessarily making art, but it's doing this thing over here. But maybe now I believe in myself more. Maybe they just feel that passion off of you and it influences them. You see, so when it's talked about this harvest into fourth density, it's about understanding who will raise their vibration. There's another aspect of this I want to talk about, and who's going to remain stuck in the ego separate consciousness. Many of us are completely bought in on these outdated stories that we consistently tell ourselves. We tell ourselves, this is who I am. I am this type of way. Reality is this type of way. I can't do my passion for a living. People always treat me this certain type of way. They're always mean to me. This story will remain on autopilot until we become aware of it, and many times the story itself keeps us muddled in the bottom three chakras. One other thing that was mentioned with the law of one is that what we must do to move, think of it, it's also very relevant to the different rays of the different chakra system. So we have the first density, which could be characterized by that of the red ray, or first density. Second ray would be the orange ray, or that of the sacral chakra. The third chakra, and that would be the second density. Third density would be the yellow, or the solar plexus. The fourth density is that of the heart. Now, in order to move in the heart, we must balance out the bottom 3 chakras to then move into the heart chakra. So balancing that out means balancing out and becoming aware of the limiting beliefs, the positionalities you have. By positionalities, what I mean is if you're in the mindset that this person did this to me, you are then in and feeling a separate type consciousness instead of realizing everyone does the best they can with where they are. And that causes a muddled up energy in the bottom 3 chakras, which keeps the energy from not flowing into the heart. So the key is balancing out the bottom 3 chakras by forgiveness and by becoming aware of your own power. So I'd say forgiveness, forgiving the other, because there really is no other, forgiving the other by understanding that everyone does the best they can with where they are, with the level of consciousness they have. Even when I look to my past from people that had treated me mean, maybe bullies growing up, or that of my ex-stepmom who in a way was a bully, I look and I can see that that's the level of consciousness they were operating from and maybe still are operating from. That's just where they are. Not judgment, not like I'm better because I'm spiritual and doing this stuff for a living. It's more so just recognizing that that's where they are. Then it makes it easier to forgive. Then neutrality, observing these thoughts, observing sacral chakra, your relationship to yourself and your relationship to others. The survival, the first density, that of the survival mechanism, the body that you have. Are you taking care of your body? The third chakra, your solar plexus, your discipline, your willpower, how you fit into the society that you're in, your culture. And as you become aware of these 3 different things and you start to heal outdated beliefs about it, you then allow the energy to come up. And then the other part of that is the willpower and also the empowerment. You can do what you love for a living. There's a story you tell yourself about why you can't do that. The key is to close the story gap between the story you tell yourself about why you can't have what you do, what you want to have, and why you can, and you can start to act from that space, act from that new story, knowing that this is who you choose to be. The more you do it, the easier it becomes, the more you build that momentum. And then from that level of passion, you are then able to move into the heart chakra, seeing your connectedness between all people. And in that state, you will naturally be of service to others. The more I make these videos about how I can add value to the people that are watching it, like you, the more this information just comes to me. Because I'm emphasizing and allowing this energy to flow through. It's not that Aaron Doughty is making the daily videos. Yes, my ego is getting into the mode. I'm getting in front of the camera right now. But it's also a realization that, in a way, the universe wants to flow through me. And this happens for everyone. This isn't because I'm special so I make YouTube videos. Everyone has the ability to let this divine energy flow through because you are a divine being. And maybe that goes through in the form of a flow state of you painting. Maybe it's of you adding value and you have great managerial skills and you know how to deal with people and you love dealing with people and you love making people feel empowered. Maybe it's you doing something on the computers or networking or so many different things. But it's all up to you. And it's all up to that self-discovery within yourself. Now, what is said that's going to happen in the law of one is that this transition is taking place. And that as it takes place, there's going to be a crumbling down of old structures. The crumbling down of the old ways of being. And that's what you'll see in the government right now. That's what you'll see all around the world. Outdated ideas, outdated things are no longer serving us. So what is happening is now we have this new paradigm that we can begin to become aware of, where we release the walls, we release the bondage, and we start to exist in this higher state of consciousness. Now, understand the third density, fourth density, it's a little bit different than dimension. Density and dimension is a little bit different thing. Think of density as a country and a dimension as a state within a country. So there's different octaves as well. However, what we are moving from is the third density, the solar plexus, individual level consciousness that we've been in for a long time, of feeling separate, into the heart, love, and understanding chakra, where we start to realize that we're all connected. What you put out is what you get back. So by being at service to other people, that energy comes back to you anyways. So it's a win-win-win. However, the shift must be made to where you realize that we are all connected, and then how can you add a value? You add value just by being you. You add value from doing what you're passionate about and from you living in that authentic truth. If you do that, then you will make this shift. You will be a part of this harvest. You most likely are one of those soul wanderers or star seeds or light workers. You came here to shine your light. I know that because you're watching this video right now. We're on this edge, like curve of the wave right now, where more and more people are waking up than ever before. People are waking up at such profound speeds. It's amazing. And the people waking up right now, I believe a lot of people that watch my content will end up continuing to spread this information just by you being yourself. But as time goes on, the desire for this kind of information will exponentialize. There'll be, in a way, a spiritual revolution that continues to happen on the planet. And a lot of that is because we are going through the shift in consciousness, and deep down people remember, this is why I'm here. The law of one material goes beautifully and aligns very well with that of Dolores Cannon's books, which show the subconscious mind, the higher self, coming through and answering questions in 17 of her 19 of her books, plus that of Bashar's information. There's so many different correlations that we can see here. So with that, one thing that I will mention that I think will help is a fifth dimensional, which is a little bit different than density, but fifth dimensional activation meditation that's in the top of the description box below. If you listen to it for 21 days, I think it will change your life. If you read the comments there of what people have experienced, you'll see what's possible for you. So I recommend that you listen to that. Also, if you haven't already, the only way that you see the daily videos that I'm doing on YouTube is if you hit the notification bell. It's just the way YouTube does it now. I don't know why. But I've got a lot more good stuff coming. I'm excited to share it with you, so hit the notification bell so you can see the daily vids that I do. Subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, peace, much love, and namaste.